Hey everyone, I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce, and
we're Better Half Reviews. And today we are doing another rough draft segment. So if you're not familiar with that, what it is there's games that we have been looking into or play testing, things that haven't quite come out yet, but we wanted you to know about it. And so this is what this is for. So let's kick it off with Wanderer's Guide from Wits End. And that is, if that sounds familiar at all to you, Andrew Bosley is the one behind all of this. And Wanderer's Guide is set up for your RPG games. So if you're looking for your background, your backdrop for your games, this is where you should go.
It really helps, DMs and people that want to create a world. It helps them to create an immersive environment.
And it helps the players be able to see what they're doing, where they're going.
Yeah, it helps the players get into that environment as well. Because it's really cool. They have really beautifully designed and colored atlases with all sorts of scenery and terrain. They have like NPC decks to help you with like encounters or help you develop monsters. There's just a lot of cool things in this.
Yes, and as someone who's thought about entering into RPG stuff but hasn't quite done it and it seems intimidating, this is like, bam, here's a world for you, go. So it helps it feel more inviting and all that, and like, you play a game and you're like, you're into this dark tower and there's 5 levels. Well, there's a picture of a dark tower with many levels and you can see kind of like into the levels, and like it's just so cool. I love it. Plus Andrew Bosley artwork.
It's always amazing.
So this is coming with a lot of goodies to Kickstarter on November 10th. There's going to be some stretch goals and awesome additions to it as it goes along the way in the campaign. So you should definitely check this out if you are into RPGs, thinking about getting into RPGs, or if you're a fan of Andrew Bosley at all.
Or if you just want some ideas to create a fantasy world, this could even help you kick off your story or whatever you're trying to create.
Exactly. That's also what I like about it too. So, of course, with the Rough Draft reviews, we're going to have links down below in the description for Kickstarters, social media, and etc. So if you're interested in that, look below.
So next, we are going to talk about Creature Comforts. And this is a game Allison got to play test, and I haven't, so I'm going to just let you go with this.
Okay. So Creature Comforts is coming to Kickstarter on November 17th. It's brought to you by Kids Table Board Gaming and Burnt Island Games. So, to put it short, Everdell mixed with Wreck Raiders. Creature Comforts. This game, it looks adorable, and I would say it's like a mid-family range game, and I just had so much fun with it. As I was playing, like, I wasn't even done with the game, and I'm like, I need this game.
Yeah, you talked about it a lot, and I did get some glances at it. It looked really cool.
It has a great combination of mechanics where there's dice and you're trying to also like collect different cards for combinations. And the really cool thing is that it's kind of like betting on dice, where you have 2 dice that you roll yourself. And from those dice, you have to decide, okay, where do I think I can put my workers on the board? Because there's different totals or different options and numbers where you need like a straight or 2 2s or 2 4s to put your meeples down to get certain things, to try to get cards that give you points. But then there's a community set of dice that are rolled after you've kind of like bet where you think you're going to put your workers, or where you place your workers. Then you roll the dice, and then you have to choose from the community dice / your dice. And sometimes you put out workers in combinations that don't even end up happening. So it's very interesting, but there's ways to mitigate when your dice don't match up with where you put your meeples. But I'm getting sidetracked. It's just very fun and inviting. And the whole thing is like you're making a little comfortable home for your creatures, and you have like cozy rocking chairs and soup and stew that you're trying to get all ready for your creature. And whoever has the most comfortable spot wins the game. It's adorable, and it's also very interesting with lots of choices. I think it's great for families and also great for gamers as well.
So like we already said, there'll be a link down to the Kickstarter down below.
Yeah, I gotta quiet myself because I could keep talking about that game.
And finally, we're going to talk about a game called Mythica.
And that's from Northern Games.
And currently there's not a set date when it's coming to Kickstarter or when it might be published. It's still kind of in the development phase. But this is a really fun game where you get to be a god.
You get to choose to be one of the Greek gods, and this is a civilization type game.
But even though it's a civilization game, you're not getting bogged down in resources. You don't have to worry about like gold and wood and whatever. No, there's just one resource. Then you also get worshippers, and then you get influence. So even though it's a civilization game, you're not getting bogged down in the day-to-day minutia of a civ game. You are literally a god and controlling your world through the lens of that.
Mm-hmm. This is a sandbox game, so there's so many options of what you could do on your turn. I like that the cards in your hand are twofold, so there's options on top and bottom where you can try to like do certain actions, like build the world out, so you have tiles that you can lay out to build the world. You can move your worshippers, your hero, and many other things. It's just, there's so many choices, but there's a lot of good choices to do and different strategies. So I feel like every game could feel so different from the other.
Yeah, and just going along with that, like every god has their own unique abilities. So you could have, a god good at war, a god that's good at
Traveling.
gaining followers, or a god that's good at traveling and like commerce. So there's all sorts of different things you can do in this game, from answering your followers' prayers to sending heroes on a quest to building temples. It's really involved, and it sounds heavy, but at the same time,
it's a game that might seem a bit intimidating at first, but the way that Andrew White is the creator of the game, the way that Andrew has presented things like with a really great player aid, it's very helpful to know like things that you can do on your turn. So like for me, sandbox games can be a bit like because there's so many options, you could do whatever you want basically. But it's laid out really well to give you all the options of what you can do and can't do. And you have a player board that helps keep things organized and like bonuses and stuff. So it's a pretty great game.
And to speak to the simplicity of this, we played a game with Andrew over 2 different sessions. So we played for about an hour, and then we had a 2-week break, and then played for another hour. Part of the first hour was learning it, so it took a little bit longer.
Well, and it's on Tabletop Simulator, so that's why.
So it took a little longer
extra.
That way. But even though we had a 2-week break in between, without like going and refreshing the rules, we were able to pick up the game really quickly on that second session. So it just goes to how simple it is and how effective the player aids and everything are for that game.
And for those of you who are interested, there are going to be minis in this game, and they're going to be pretty awesome. So, sandbox game, civ game, minis game, Greek gods game, all into one. You have Mythica.
So be sure to go check out Northern Games on Instagram. We'll have their info in the description. They're doing all sorts of stuff with developing. Really cool to see what he's coming up with and voting on what we like best.
Yes, you can help influence parts of the game, so that's pretty cool too. All right, so that's all we've got for now on our rough draft reviews. So if you're interested in any of these games, definitely check out in the description down below to their links to their Kickstarter or social media, and you can get more information and check it out when they come out.
And if you'd like more comprehensive reviews on some of these games, be sure to comment down below and let us know which ones you'd like to see.
All right, I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce, and we're Better Half Reviews.
Happy gaming.
Have fun.